Hey y'all, welcome to the Sipping Messy Healing Den. I am Nichelle, your spiritual teacher and inner child healing coach. So, it's been a long time since I've checked in with you, right? There's been a lot of changes, and I just wanted to come back and give you an update and talk about inner child healing and why it's necessary and how it has helped me move forward and how it has helped my growth. So let's rewind, because I'm sure there's a video on my page already about how I started on my spiritual journey. But we're going to do a quick little recap and move forward to last year, 2024. So, how I got started on my spiritual journey is that I just was like, what's next? I lost my mom in January of 2023. And I want to say around March of 2023, I started, scrolling on TikTok, right? And I had seen uh, um, different spiritualists before, but I was never drawn into any of them. Now, before that, I started like noticing things and angel numbers and stuff like that, and never really understood angel numbers, but I did notice that um, my angel numbers were 333 a lot. And then when I really got down to now back, I think young adult or maybe late high school, I discovered that I was like 333. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. And when I say that, I'm my parents. I'm my parents' third child. I was born on the third day of the third month. So I'm like 333 has always been like a very heavy number for me, just a number three, period. And so, I guess in those times I was kind of experiencing like a lightweight awakening, but I never understood it. So, in March of 2023, I started going through an awakening. I saw a young lady and she was doing readings, and I watched her for 3 days straight. Three again, lucky number. I watched her for 3 days straight, and then I decided to get a reading from her. Now, in watching her, I did know that she would, your ancestors could come in and talk through her and stuff. And then also, she offered readings. So me, I had got out of a relationship, and I had decided, I was like, I'm not going to deal with this relationship no more. So I decided I didn't really necessarily want a general reading, because I really didn't understand a general reading. I understood love readings, right? We talking about somebody directly, or your love life, or where it's gonna go. Because I had just broke up with my ex at that point too. So I went into her live and I was like, I want a love reading. And as she called my name and was asking me what I wanted, she started, doing the burping thing. And most people in the spiritual community know that is ancestral talking to you or confirmation about something, right? For her, it was, your ancestors are in the room. So she was like, ooh, your ancestors are here. And then she just went in. She's like, now when I asked for the love reading, it was like, they're tired of you taking care of everybody else and not yourself. And I was like, whoa. And it was like, you, this, that. Like, she was on point with everything she was saying. And I'm like, whoa. And to know, like me, I'm very family oriented. And to know that my ancestors showed up for me was like, okay, all right. That was the warm and fuzzy. Although it was going off on me, that was the warm fuzzy part of it, right? So I'm like, okay, that day began my journey of healing. That began my healing journey. So we're gonna fast forward it to, so I started working with her, right? And so she had just really got on to TikTok too. And so I started working with her, and in January of 2024, my ancestors told me that, or my spirit team told me that I was moving to Texas. And I was like, okay. It was a few of us moving to Texas. I said, why are they sending all of us to Texas? But okay, we're going to Texas. So I'm like, okay, now this was individualized. I didn't even know all those other girls were going, or supposed to be going, but I did know that during one of my sessions, they did tell me directly. And I even confirmed it with her. I was like, hey, they're not supposed to be moving to Texas. Is that true? She was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So at this point, I was starting to utilize my spiritual gifts. They were turned on, and I was utilizing them. So I sat down with my team and I asked them for a date. They gave me the date right away. And so I said, okay. So that was in the beginning of March. So because I had trust issues. Keep in mind, I had trust issues. So then I asked her, so then when I asked her about that, she's like, when are you going to visit? She's like, ask your team when they want you to go visit. I'm like, ugh. So I asked, and it was in 2 weeks. It was like March 14th, I think they told me. And it was like the beginning of March. I'm like, I gotta get a ticket and go in 2 weeks. And then she was like, hey, Nichelle, they're saying trust them. And yeah, that was the thing. They said it was like trust them. I was like, okay, all right. Because again, now my trust issues stem from my inner child healing that I need to still do. So I was working on my inner child, but I was the type that would do one session and then dwell on that one session because it's like, damn, I didn't like to be sad, or I would wallow in my sadness. So I just it'd take me a month to get through it because I'm just like, I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to know the next thing that's coming up. So they did that. So no, they told me to go visit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just gonna go. So I want to say, what was it? I started looking up plane tickets, and the one ticket was $444. Them tickets were high as heck, because they were all higher than that. But the one ticket that I was like, I liked, and I was like feeling led to, was $444. So I'm like, okay, angel number. My angels are there with me. Okay. So I bought the ticket. And so as the day approaches, I'm still like, I don't know. I go down to the water by where, oh no, I came out of my house one day within that 2-week span, and there was a feather just laying on my windshield on my car, random feather. And I'm like, why is this feather there? So I think I collected that feather. I took that feather. Yeah, I think I took that feather, or maybe not, because I don't think I was aware of feathers and the spiritual significance behind those at that time. So I don't remember, but I just know that I looked it up after the fact. Was like, whoa, that feather meant something. And then I think a few days later, I went down to the water. I go to the water to talk to my people, my spirit team. And I always had this one spot I would go to by the water. And this has never been a thing. Now, there's duck and geese and everything out there, right? But this one day, I was walking to the water over the grass, and there was a trail of feathers in the grass as I walked up to it. So I'm just like, whoa, that's deep. I'm like, okay, y'all, I got you. So I stepped out of water, talked to my team, got calmed down, all of that. So then I went, so then it was the day of, and I was supposed to get on the plane. So I get on the plane. No, I'm walking through the airport, and I'm like, still questioning it, right? Because again, I have trust issues. Now you want me to trust the unseen. I have trust issues in the physical. Now you want me to trust what I can't see. So, okay. So I'm dealing with that. I'm walking to the airport. So I'm sitting down in the airport, and I'm like still questioning. Now, flying on a plane wasn't an issue. I've been on planes before, and I love Delta, so I was on Delta. And so they came over the speaker and told us that it was a slight delay. I was like, oh, must not be meant for me to go. Must not be meant for me to go. The delay was I think they had to clean the plane. It was nothing engine related or anything like that. It was just something. It was something real simple. Oh, the computer at the counter wasn't working. That's what it was. So they couldn't check anybody in. So they had to get like their manager to come to reboot the system or something like that. So it was nothing major. It wasn't even anything with the plane. It was their systems inside. So, what happened? Oh, so because that happened, I started questioning the thought of going on this trip. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, this must not be meant. Da, 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 da. So as I'm sitting there, I look up in the air, and they have the skylight or the sky. I guess it's called skylight, right? It's the big window in the center of the airport. So I'm looking, and there's dust falling or lint falling, right? So I'm looking at the lint. Why I locked my eyes on this piece of lint, I don't know, but it was falling really slow down from the ceiling. As the lint got closer, the lint transformed. I'm telling y'all, the lint transformed. I know that was a piece of lint that was falling from the ceiling because it wasn't that big coming down from the ceiling, right? As it got closer, it transformed, and as it landed, it was a feather. Now, where did a feather come from? In the middle of the airport. And when I say the skylight, it wasn't open, it was glass. So it wasn't an open skylight. So the fact that this feather was there, I was like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna get on the plane. So my team is letting me know, hey, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. So I decided to get on the plane. I go to Texas. My plane gets in a little bit late, get to Texas, and I go to the hotel where I'm supposed to check in. Now, my Uber got canceled 3 times, I think. Something was going on there. I don't remember, but there was a lot of people. So it kept getting canceled. So finally, the 3rd Uber was canceled. The 3rd Uber came, and I had a deaf Uber driver, so he couldn't talk, which is fine with me because I don't want to talk to him anyway. I need to sit in silence anyway. So my team knew what they was doing. Send me the deaf one who ain't gonna run his mouth. Good, because I don't want to talk to him. So we get to the hotel. I get to the front desk. I check in. Again, I'm in doubt. Doubt is in my charts, my birth charts. So I have to prove that I have to do the research to figure out if what I'm seeing or hearing is true, because immediately I go to doubt, right? And my trust issues because of my inner child work. So when I get to the hotel, they write the number on the key, because I found out that it's illegal for them to actually say your hotel number because it's a safety issue. So it's illegal for them to say your hotel number out loud. So as I'm walking to my hotel room, I look at because she tells me how to get there. So I'm going in that direction. I pick up my key and look at the hotel room, and the hotel room number is 111. So I'm like, y'all, I get it. I understand. I'm here, y'all. I'm here. Now, I didn't even do anything. I didn't look for I didn't look for apartments. I drove around the city just a little bit. I was kind of scared to drive around the city. So I think the lesson in that was just for me being out there by myself and working through those alone issues and me just being alone. So I go back home. I felt like I accomplished a lot but I also felt like I didn't accomplish anything because I didn't get any. I did get a name of an apartment, but it wasn't in, the airport is in Humble, Texas. So I wasn't actually in Houston. So I'm like, you're not supposed to go to that apartment complex. But I felt like I accomplished, hey, I went out there. I did what I was supposed to do. I went out there. I didn't listen for anything else. I went out there, okay? I didn't tap in because I just refused to go anywhere because it kept kind of rain and all that stuff. And I just didn't want to. So, and at that time, that was in March. My move date was in June. I wasn't doing anything spiritually for others. I'll say I was still doing my healing work and stuff like that, but doing for others and stuff, I had backed out. I was like, So in this moment is where my confidence issues, my self-esteem issues, my trust issues, my fear, my lack, all that just came crashing down on me, because now I am paralyzed with fear to move forward, not only in my works, but also in my life. So now I'm self-sabotaging, going through all that. So now my team has set me down to do the inner child work. And this is why your inner child work is so important. It helps you, especially if you're going through those things like the fear, the doubt, the trust issues. A lot of that has to do with your inner child work. A lot of that has to do with things that were done to you as a child, or instilled in you as a child. And now you have to work backwards and get through those things, understand where it came from, and heal it so that you can move forward. It's like it's peeling layers back in order to help you move forward in what you're supposed to do. So then she was like, they're postponing your trip. They're moving it back just a few months. So at that point, I was just like, okay, cool. And then I stopped talking about it. I felt like it was further and further away, and I stopped looking to move, right? I didn't want to do it in the first place. But the fact that I know they told me specifically that I needed to move and that I had to move, I knew I was going to be moving. I just had to work through the issues that I was having regarding relocating. So that them next months was intense inner child healing. I had to deal with my mother wounds, my abandonment issues. I had to deal with my father wounds. I had to deal with different things that were done to me. I had to do some generational healing, because part of my trauma was generational. It wasn't necessarily just my own trauma. It was trauma in my bloodline that was stopping me from moving forward. All kinds of stuff. To the point where now they're saying, oh, this is your ministry, inner child healing, because guess what? You've done the work. You know how to do this. And I'll say that also that March is when I started a mediumship class, and I kept pulling people. I was trying to understand. Now, I knew I had to get for mediumship, right? But I didn't understand how to use it. I was kind of scared of it. So I went to this course to learn how to use it and to learn how to get rid of the fear of it. So in doing that, I kept seeing myself pull inner child work. And then the teacher was like, made us hone in on people passed over loved ones. So after a while, it got boring. Like after the class, we would have practice sessions. It started getting boring, and I just felt a disconnect. So when I sat down on my team, it was because I wasn't a medium. I am a spiritual teacher. I am a healer. So although I have mediumship gifts, I'm not a medium. Now I'll be using my mediumship gifts for a lot of stuff, but I'm not just sitting with you and be like, oh, you want to talk to your deceased Uncle Leonard. That's not my ministry at all. So I use my mediumship gifts to call your inner child forward, or your ancestors forward, or and help you move along in your abilities, or on your path of healing, or your spiritual journey. So in understanding that, I was like, am I supposed to be an inner child healer? And it was like, yep, okay, gotcha. But I wouldn't be walking in my purpose now if I had not did the work. Because why would you go to somebody who doesn't know how to heal their own inner child? Now, when I say heal, I'll say, is she healed completely? No. But have I done enough work to help you start on your journey? Yes. So there will always be triggers and traumas that will probably come forward. that we'll need to dive deeper into, because you got to remember, you were a child for how long? There's a lot of trauma and a lot of wounds there that you need to look at. Sorry, I had to put myself on do not disturb. So fast forward to me doing the work, moving through the trauma, moving through the hurt, moving through the pain, moving through the healing process. We're rounding back to now we're in 2025, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that urge that, hey, it's time for you to move again. It's time for you to move. And I'm just like, So now I'm in I took another course. Now, along this journey, depending on what your purpose is and what you require, you may take a few courses. A lot of my stuff is not self-taught, but spiritually taught. But because I need physical information, I take sometimes I'm required to take courses in order to get through stuff. So I'm taking a new course, and it is a course of knowing yourself. So you learn about your birth chart, you learn about your numerology, you learn about who you are, you learn about your ancestors, you know about where you come from, your gifts, all of that, right? Now I knew my gifts. No, I don't know all my gifts because they all haven't shown up yet, but they're coming. But I know that I'm an energy worker. I've done work on myself. I've done work on myself before I came into spirituality. I done work on myself back when I was in the church, and that is a story for another day. But energy work, and like I said, I have mediumship gifts. I do inner child healing. So those are my main things that I'm doing right now. I can do your shadow work as well, but my main things that I focus on, and herbalism. So the main things that I focus on right now is inner child healing and energy work. So those are the main two. I know I can read cards, because I will probably pull cards during our sessions. But that's if you're into cards. If not, I don't have to pull them. But what I'll say. So I'm taking this course, and my teacher has received new gifts as well. So she does an aura cleanse. So she goes into my aura. And now, keep in mind, our class is the first class she's doing this on, because she had just received these gifts. So she does an aura cleanse, and she does an aura cleanse in my mental aura and my root. The mental one is where the blockages are, where it's like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I have fear of failure. I have fear of this. I don't trust. I don't believe. Da, 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 da. So she did a cleansing that. That was week 1. By week 3, the energy around me shifted. So people that I was staying with were agitated, because now that energy shift and that agitation is going to force me out, because now you have no choice. You got to go, because you don't want to be in this. You're a peaceful person. You don't want to be in this stuff, right? So then she does a reading for me like week 4, I think. And she was like, it's time for you to move. And they're showing me that the reason why you're not moving is only because of you. Because I'm thinking I'm waiting on them to tell me to go. It's been time for you to go. You're scared to uproot, because that's exactly what it is. I've been a Detroiter, born and raised all my life. I have gray hair. I've been a Detroiter all my life. And now I'm sitting week 2. Yeah, we're on week 2, heading into week 3 in Houston, Texas. I got in my car by week 5 of the course, in my car, and drove across the country to Texas. I'm still in awe because who just gets up and drives across country as a woman who's been in one city all their life? Now, let me tell you how this worked out. The things that happen and why it's so important to be connected with your spirit team on this journey too, and not just talking to your spiritual guidance. You make sure you have the right spiritual coaches with you, but also you need to be tapped into your team. That is your first line of communication, is your team. You can go to your coaches and stuff, and so they can confirm that what you heard was correct. But make sure you're tapped in with your team. So I'm looking up how to drive this drive because I'm taking my car and I'm taking a few things with me to get me started. So I'm looking up the route and stuff like that. So I was like, I asked them I actually like the map thing. If you're traveling from Detroit to Houston, where are the best places to stop along the route? Like, I was thinking about driving 9 hours and stop, because it was like a 20-hour drive. So I was thinking about driving half the time, so maybe 10 hours and stop, and then drive the next 10 the next day. So when I looked it up, it was like, good places to stop. One of the good places they had was Memphis, Tennessee. Well, that is where all my family is from. My immediate family, so like uncles, aunts, grandparents, and stuff like that. But that's where I've spent my entire childhood. Every summer is in Memphis, Tennessee. My oldest brother is currently living in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm like, oh, I won't have to get a hotel. I can just stop in Memphis. Now, Memphis, from Detroit to Memphis, is a 12-hour drive. So I decided to map it out. No, I didn't decide to map. I was like, I'll just go to Memphis and then map from there to Texas, right? Again, I've driven this ride my entire life, every summer, because both my mom and my dad are from Memphis. So they went back every year to see their parents. Even when they separated, one would go, I would go with that one, I would go with the other one. So I was going like twice a summer at this point because both my parents would be going. So I would ride with either one of them. So I know this route. I don't need a GPS, but I still do it just for safety reasons. So say like if I miss an exit or something, or I'm about to miss an exit, because I'm so used to the route, I just auto drive, right? I get to a point on the route and they route me a different way. And I'm like, why are y'all taking me this way? Now, on this journey, I've gotten into a high priestess circle, which our spirit team confirmed for us that we're part of a high priestess. It's a trio. Like the that one card, like the celebration card or the tarot card that has the 3 women dancing on it. That is the card that we kept seeing. We're a high priestess circle. So it was like, wow, okay. So the route it takes me, it hits both of my we call ourselves soul sisters. It hits both of my sisters, my high priestess sisters, states. And the energy shift going that route, like I'm getting chills just talking about it, because I know that this route is not the route that I would normally go. When I drive to Memphis, Tennessee, I go through Ohio, go through Kentucky, and then I'm in Tennessee. The way this route took me, I hit Ohio for like a half a second. It took me through Indiana, which is where one of my sisters is, my high priestess sisters, and through Missouri, which is where the other one is. We hit both of their states and then into Arkansas and then into Tennessee. Why it did that? Well, I know why, because of the energy going that route. The energy was completely different. Also, being that I'm starting a new life, it was like, hey, old routes won't go to your new life. Only the new routes. We're going new routes to the new life. So I'm just like, whoa, this is different. Get to my brother's house, and again, I'm questioning everything still. So I'm like, I could just stay in Tennessee. I'm not in Detroit anymore. I've shifted. I moved. I'm in, and it's like, ma'am, no, you are scheduled to go to Texas. Now, another thing, if I'm driving, I don't have a place to stay in Texas. Only thing I have is a hotel room. I don't know what the heck. I just got in my car, packed up my stuff, and drove across country with no home. So, again, before I left, my one teacher was like, I showed that your team is going to show you exactly where to go. Like, you're going to be looking it up online, and they'll point you in the right direction. So, I was like, okay. So that next day, I heard go to Zillow. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on Zillow. Now, a few days before that, I was looking at apartments and stuff, and they was like, started feeling like I should be in a townhouse. And I'm just like, a townhouse? Okay. I guess I'll look up townhouses then. So I go on to Zillow, and already in the search is Houston, Texas. So I'm like, okay. Found out my team did that. I hit search. I didn't put any money in. I didn't put any number of bedrooms or anything like that. I just hit search. And when it came up, the first one that came up was all angel numbers. I was like, is that where I'm supposed to go? I'm like, okay, all right. I felt confident about that one. I wrote down the information and got in my car and drove to the hotel, and then mapped from the hotel to the actual complex, and got to the complex. As I'm driving to the complex, I'm looking at how regal the area is, and I'm like questioning it. I'm like, Now, let me tell you, the drive from Memphis, Tennessee to Houston, so my brother was gonna take me, my brother gave me the directions to go one way, like through Arkansas. My team had plans again. They're like, we ain't going that way. You going this way. You going through Mississippi. And every time I say Mississippi, I get a little verklempt. But Mississippi, and from Mississippi to Louisiana. Is that when I hit Louisiana? I'm trying to make sure there was nothing in the midst of that. I think it was Mississippi to Louisiana. I drove mainly Louisiana through. I'm driving through Louisiana, and I'm driving through Mississippi and Louisiana, and when I say the energy going through those places was so different, and it was so like tear-jerking, and it was because I felt the slaves that were in those communities. I felt the energy from the ancestors going through those communities. And I was like, whoa. Now, keep in mind, my drive from Detroit to Tennessee was nothing but rain. It's a 12-hour drive. It was 11 and a half hours of rain. From Tennessee to Texas, torrential downpours where I had to keep pulling off the road because I don't drive in the rain, and wanted to turn around. I've had to meet some of my biggest obstacles driving through Louisiana, not to mention the Lake Charles Bridge. That was trash, okay? I had to go up to heaven and back down on that bridge because that bridge is so freaking high. To the point when I got to Texas, I had to Google, once I got time to sit down, Google why that bridge is so high to understand why the hell anybody would build a bridge like that. I ain't never seen it, but understood now that it's to avoid having to have a drawbridge and stop traffic. Gotcha, understand. So, there was so many obstacles that I faced, and it was mainly the rain, but also in driving through the rain, I kept hearing, this is washing away the old, it's washing it away, it's washing it away. Allow it to wash it away. So I'm like, okay, all right. Now also, I keep jumping because I keep forgetting certain things. The night I left my childhood home, I stayed in a hotel because I was supposed to get on the road that morning, but I still had so much running around to do that the time had got away, and I didn't want to be driving late. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna get a hotel for the night, and I'll drive again in the morning. While at the hotel sleeping, my mom came to me and was like, I love you. Thank you. I'm now free. What I did not realize sitting in that home where both of us were unhappy at was repeating a cycle or keeping me in a cycle that my mom had started. And not necessarily my mom, it was generational, but it was continuing different cycles. But staying in that home was continuing the cycle. And once I left that home, she said, I'm now free. And that let me know I did what was right. I did the best thing. I chose me. And so make sure you're listening to your team. But anyway, fast forward to getting to Texas and going to the complex. Did I meet all the qualifications? No. Did my team tell me to chill and relax? Yes. Also, once I went and applied for the complex, I decided to get a backup plan because, you know, we got to always have a backup plan, right? When plan A failed, we need a plan B. When you work with spirit, there is no plan B. It is only what they tell you to do. I went to this other complex and I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but I still was sitting there getting information. And the whole time I'm sitting there, it's like, girl, get up out these people's face. You not supposed to be here. Because remember, y'all, I have an issue with trust. So I'm supposed to be sitting here trusting my team. And I'm just like, I need a backup plan. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit in this hotel until they tell me something? So I was telling the guy at the first complex, you know, what day I was checking out of the hotel and stuff. And I was just like, you know, if I have to, I just check into the next hotel. And I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm also trying to talk positive. I'm not trying to get myself in a bind. Cause I was like, I'll get in my car and drive back to Detroit. And I'm like, I know that's not what they want me to do. I know that's not what I'm supposed to do. So I was like, me sitting over here at other complexes is not showing the faith that I'm supposed to have in my team. So I need to get up out of these people's face and go back to the hotel and relax. So I get back to the hotel. But as I'm going to the hotel, I'm looking at other complexes. One thing Texas is not short of is apartment complexes. So I'm like, okay, so I'm driving back and I'm just looking like, oh, that one looks decent. That one looks nice. That one might be in my price right there. I'm, you know, just looking. And I was like, you know what? Just go sit down. So we're in a hotel. We're just trying to live life until that Monday happens. Well, that Sunday night, I got an email that says, welcome home. Now, Saturday night, I dreamed that I got an email that said, welcome home. Sunday night, I got the welcome home email. So I was just like, ooh. Y'all were telling me in my dream that I had it. I was like, okay. And I put my faith in my team, but I'm not gonna try to act like it's not hard to put your faith in your team. I've struggled with this. But I will say that me getting into my place, having the right amount of funds to do it, and everything working out the way it did, gives me the reassurance that I can count on my team to show up and show out when it's me, when they're working for me. I don't need to keep questioning them. I just need to allow them to show up for me the way that they're supposed to as my team. Because it's nothing like having a team and you're bragging on your team and your team leaving you out there and hanging you out there to dry. So they ain't about to look bad. So yeah, we about to do this. We got this. We got you. We told you where to go. Calm down. We told you because we know we can get you in here. We know we got this. We gonna get you in here. My friend, her team told her, and this is what we go by now. I am unconditioned when working on the spiritual plane. So the things that we're used to here on the physical, we're unconditioned. So the requirements, the 3 times the rent, you had to be on your job this many years, the credit scores, none of that matters when you're working with your spirit team. That's not even a fact. That's a non-factor, okay? They don't require any of that. They just require you to follow them and listen and pay attention and do what you're supposed to be doing, fulfilling your purpose. And they got the rest of it. They tell you what you need to do, you just do it. You don't need to question them or anything. If they told you to do it, right? And sure enough, they got me into my place. I love it. The man showed me an apartment as well, and I was like, I wouldn't be mad if I had an apartment. By the time I left there that day, my team was like, get what you want. We told you to get what you want. We told you a townhouse. So not only am I getting what I want, I'm getting what they want too. So a townhouse. And the townhouse is an in-house. So it's like I only had one neighbor on one side of me, but the bedrooms are off to the other side. So noise is not a factor. It's in a beautiful neighborhood. Beautiful, I'm near everything, right? Nothing is far away from me. It's peaceful. It has multiple pools here. Yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better. I'm excited. I am excited to explore. I don't have it all together just yet, but they said that's all right. Just do what you need to do. Get back on what you're supposed to be doing, which is, what I'm doing here. Telling my story, offering my services, and helping you to get on your growth journey, healing journey, inner child wellness journey, all of that. And they're gonna help me the rest of the way. So I'm not really worried. My human mind questions things here and there, but for the most part, we keep it in check. We keep it in check. So yeah, that is my story. That is my journey. That is some of the things that I went through. If you have questions about it, you can leave them down below and I will answer them as soon as I can or do another video. And I am enjoying my new space. I'm enjoying this new journey. My daughter is enjoying this new journey. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed. I'm still amazed at how those things unfolded for me. And just remember, when you're working on the spiritual plane, you are unconditioned. The rules that apply, that humans put on you, they do not apply when you're working with spirit. They do not apply. So, yeah. Any questions? Again, leave them below. If you want to book a session, you can go to my website. It is www.the hyphen or dash, because I don't say hyphens anymore for some reason. Anyway, the hyphen sipping, SIPPING hyphen mystic, MYSTIC.com. I have sessions that you can book there. I have herbal teas that you can purchase there, and my ebook. Again, healing your inner child is very, very important, because without healing it, you will be stagnant and you'll be stuck in cycles, not understanding how to get out of them, not even realizing that you're stuck in a cycle. So make sure you're doing the work, people. All right, talk to y'all later.